Spoilers for a game that's turning 20 this year. I was like 5 years old when I first saw Paper Mario. I remember seeing it in a used game cart in GameStop and being like, hey, I know that guy, and just stole it since GameStop was and still is trash. At the time, I had only seen like 4 other games, and most of it was just my brother explaining things to me. So I knew who Mario was, and I mostly knew what turn-based was, but this was going to be the first time I would actually start playing a game on my own. I remember starting it up and it just blew my mind. Partially because most of the game was already done, but mostly because it was so big. There was a whole world to explore, and sure, you did it piece by piece, but for me, it was more connected than just a big-ass castle where you can jump into paintings. You actually had to walk to get to places instead of just being teleported there. For the most part. In a way, it was my first open world game. Most of my time was spent wandering around the map thinking I was going to find something awesome at the end of wherever I was going and finding the leftovers. It wasn't like Mario 64 where you could just go back and do whatever you were supposed to do at that moment whenever you want, or like Pokemon where even though stuff happened, in the grand scheme of things not much has actually changed. Your impact is felt in that game, but it isn't really seen all that much afterwards. Here, you know something went down. I figured then it would be a good idea to actually start a new game, and holy shit, first 5 minutes you're getting your ass kicked by Bowser. Hell, that isn't even enough to describe it. He annihilates your ass. He beats you down, sets you on fire, hits you with lightning, and drops your ass from the goddamn stratosphere. I had never seen a main character actually get his ass kicked, and it being part of the story, but here he is, waking up in a village full of those things I used to stomp and kick the shit out of. Now, I'm traveling around with one while he talks shit about his brothers for not getting good. This game did for Mario what Ocarina did for Zelda. Suddenly the Mushroom Kingdom isn't a bunch of random places with some random assholes, it has personality. You have Koopas who choose to live their lives in a small village with bombs. You got Shy Guys hanging out in toy boxes. You got an entire culture of Yoshis based around a guardian raven named Raphael. This game invites you to take a trip around the kingdom to let you peek into the lives of these people. And while I wish it was a bit more in depth, it's still interesting to see in the context of the story. It shows you enough to wonder what else happens here while following a simple pattern. Get a hint of where to go, meet wacky characters including a guy who's usually cooler than the usual enemies you meet, find the main dickhead of the chapter, kick their ass, enjoy a small hey what's Peach up to segment, and get a hint of where to go next, and the cycle continues. It's a simple story with a very clear and unchanging goal. Save the Star Spirits and kick Bowser's ass. That's it. And people are going to be on the fence about whether that's a good or a bad thing, but personally I don't care because of how fun and different the levels are. The first one has you down to basic grasslands, but at the end you're fighting the Ninja Turtles. You got one where you're fighting in an ancient desert tomb. The final battle is literally on a castle on top of another castle in the upper atmosphere. Each and every one of them has their moments and puzzles to make you think and are fun and interesting. Except these two. Fuck your trick wall maze and your stupid Yoshi kids. But even those have their awesome moments. I think my favorite has to be Chapter 3. You got the Peach segment spooking you up about a guy who eats ghosts. You go from a haunted forest to a haunted mansion, yet not a single boo actually attacks you, but are actually trying to ask you for help. Then you open a gate and suddenly it's not a spooky place anymore. It's a desert with that sweet ass Spanish theme creeping on you, making you forget that you're on a serious mission until you see this son of a bitch eat my boy Stanley. Now you know shit's real. You break into his house, you blow up his minions, you get kicked out by these stupid pieces of shit that grab your mustache, grab his talking key and get the hell out of there before he kills you, go down a well and find out his heart was what really makes him strong, and when he's actually reunited he's a little bitch who goes down in one hit. And a reminder, this is just one chapter in this game. It's amazing how much personality and cool shit they fit in this game, but what really won me over more than anything else in this game is the combat. The combat starts out super simple. You pick an option and you do that option, usually with a few button presses that the game tells you to do. There is one weapon that upgrades with the story, you got 3 basic stats, and the only equipment you have are the standard items and the badges. But there are so many options to go along with the badges. You got ones that up your stats, you got ones that swap your stats, you got ones that let you use more items, ones that increase your star power, ones that give you like 50 different hammer and jump attacks. There's even one that lets you win a fight just by bumping into your opponent. It's amazing. Plus, you got your partners, their abilities, you got standard items that can heal you, attack enemies, or break the game. You even get powers from the Star Spirits you save, with at least half of them being useful. Even just getting into a fight is great. Unlike many RPGs at the time, instead of the stupid ass random encounter system where every 5 seconds you get interrupted, here you can just go up and smack an opponent to get a hit in before the match even starts. And while there are some people who actually like the random encounter system, I think, I need you to please understand that your opinion is wrong and you should feel bad about it. Speaking of though, the game isn't perfect. Not by a long shot. It sucks that you just can't save whenever you want to. Some animations take too long or are repeated over and over again. The cooking system, while great, you'd have no idea what to do or even how many recipes there are unless you go back to your house to check, instead of, just having a checklist on you. The extra bosses, while fun as hell, are quick one-offs and there's only like 3 of them. And the side quests, holy shit. All of them are literally just take this thing to that guy, that's it, have fun. There's one that has you running around giving letters to everyone over and over again only to get a stupid badge you could just buy off of someone. This one's my favorite. Take these lyrics to someone in the world. That's it. Good luck. And even besides all the extra stuff, it sucks that the partners don't have that much time to shine. They have their moments, but really the only one you get to know is Goombario since his entire job is to talk about things. Luckily, a lot of these issues will be solved in follow-up titles, but even with all those shortcomings, it's still a pretty damn good game. And it's nice to see that after all these years, one of your favorite games doesn't get wiped away by the passing of time. There are entire channels dedicated to all the random shit you can do in this game. And even 15 years after playing this game for the first time, I still find new stuff. I always thought if you got caught by this guy you had to run, but it turns out you can just do this and get away. It's those little secrets that honestly keeps me coming to this game. Well, that and the bosses. I can't tell you how much time I've spent trying to beat the master as soon as possible in the game without just spamming these. Because, fun. There's even a mod out there that makes the game a lot harder for people who have played it like a million times. Even after all these years, this is still one of my favorite games of all time, and even one of my favorite series of all time. It has set the bar for what makes a good game for me, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Till then though, 4 out of 5. Doesn't make this game suck any less though.